Hello, and welcome to Verbling. In this class, we are continuing, as we have been this week at this time, talking about adjectives. Today, specifically, we're going to be looking at adjective clauses, aka also known as relative clauses. We'll be practicing forming them together. You guys will be practicing making your own sentences, and we'll look at information relevant to forming a proper adjective clause. And that's the plan. Okay. Hello and welcome. Oh my goodness. Sorry, is it Jacques Galot? Jacques. Wow. How do I pronounce your name, sir?
JK. You can call me JK.
JK.
How are you?
I can handle that. Hi, JK. I'm good. You can call me Oakley. Hi. I'm well. Where are you from? I'm good. How are you?
I'm from Lebanon.
Sorry?
Oh, I'm from Lebanon. I'm fine.
Okay, cool. All right, JK, welcome to the class. Welcome to Verbling. I haven't seen you before.
Thank you.
I don't think, anyway.
Yeah, this is the first lesson with you.
Yeah, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Okay.
We're going to be looking at adjective clauses. Really, I've taught this before. Actually, they're relative clauses. They're one and the same. They are the same thing. Okay, so let's take a look at the adjective clause. First thing to do, I'm going to do a screen share here. You need to recognize one when you see one. Okay, it must meet three requirements. An adjective clause or a relative clause are the same thing again. Okay. How do we know one? When we see one. First, it will contain a subject and a verb. Okay, just like any clause. All clauses must contain a subject and a verb. A subject and a verb and a clear purpose creates an independent clause or a simple sentence. JK, can I ask a favor? JK?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Hi. Okay, when you're not speaking, okay, when other students are speaking or when I'm speaking, would you mind muting your microphone? There's a lot of extra noise where you are.
No problem. I was moving from to another room.
Okay.
That's why the noise became. So,
Okay.
because the sound was cutting off, so I moved to another room near the router.
Ah, okay.
Is there any noise right now?
Minor. But
Are you hearing?
yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you quite well, actually. But just for classroom etiquette in a Verbling class, students generally, I would ask that they mute their microphones when they're not speaking.
Oh.
Just because we can all
no
hear
problem.
every sound that your microphone picks up.
Okay.
Now, it's only you and me right now, but I'm sure we'll have other students join us. Okay. So, back to our lesson, the adjective clause. First, an adjective clause will include a subject noun and a verb. Next, it will begin with a relative pronoun. For example, who, whom, whose, that, or which. Or a relative adverb, when, where, or why. Okay, so the sentence, the adjective clause begins with one of these words, and only these words. Finally, the purpose of a relative clause or an adjective clause is, or the function, is to answer questions: what kind, how many, or which one. It functions as an adjective. That's the key. There are two patterns that the adjective clause must follow. Okay, before we look at that, let me welcome Diego to the class. Hello, Diego.
Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, welcome to the class. Let me also welcome Rasha has joined us. Hello, Rasha.
Thank you. Welcome. How are you, teacher?
I'm good. I'm very well, thank you. Okay. And Heidi has joined us. Okay. I'm kind of slowing down as students are trickling into the class so I can say hello to you all. Hello, Heidi. Welcome back. Hello, Heidi. Are you there? Okay, let me continue. All right, the adjective clause or relative clause is going to follow one of two patterns. This is really the important part. A relative pronoun or adverb plus subject plus verb, or a relative pronoun which is the subject and a verb, which is probably more common. Okay. These adjective clauses will follow these two forms. Again, you need to remember the relative pronouns: who, whom, whose, that, or which. Most common mistake, and I'll probably repeat this, is students try to form a relative or an adjective clause using what. Notice what is not on this list. If you're talking about something, we use that or which, never what. Okay, so that's the number one mistake. You'll see what I mean. I'll come back to that. Here are some examples of an adjective clause, all right, or a relative clause. Let's take a look at this, and then I'm going to have you guys actually complete this sentence. An adjective clause cannot exist by itself. Notice there's no period over here at the end. That's because this is a clause. This is not an entire sentence. It is part of a sentence. We need an independent clause or a simple sentence to attach this to. Okay, notice let's break it down a little bit, dissect it. Whose is a relative pronoun. We have a couple adjectives here which describe eyes, the subject, whose, big brown eyes, and the verb, pleaded. And then a simple prepositional phrase. Okay, let's try something here. This is a part of a sentence. This could be very, very challenging, but I'll try to help you out. JK? No. Okay. Diego. All right. How can we form a sentence using this clause? I want you to put this clause into a sentence. I know this is very challenging. Okay, so what do I need to have in front of the clause? Diego, do you have it? Diego, are you there? This is strange. Diego? Okay. Okay, I'll go back to JK. JK, are you there? Hello? Okay, this is very strange. Can you guys hear me? Rasha, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Very odd things going on here. Oh, okay, Rasha, I'll start with you. Okay.
Okay.
What would need to go in front of whose big brown eyes?
Whose?
Okay. In front of the whole thing in order to make a relative clause. Okay, I'm going to give you an example so that we can continue.
Okay.
Let me go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay.
Okay. Example. So how does that work inside a sentence? All right, here it is. Here's the same clause in a sentence. All right, there it is. Diane felt manipulated by her beagle Santana, whose big brown eyes pleaded for another cookie. Rasha,
Yes.
whose is a relative pronoun. Pronouns, of course, take the place of
Yes.
another noun. What is the noun that whose refers to?
Mm, uh, Diane.
No. Diane's big brown eyes pleaded for another cookie?
No. Sorry, Hair Beagle.
Her beagle.
Yeah.
Definitely right. That would be her beagle has the big brown eyes. Okay. Yes, that's the idea. Her beagle. So whose is a pronoun referring to Santana, her beagle. That's right. Okay. All right. So that's it. So we need another clause. This clause, notice this clause could be an independent sentence. I could just extract this and use it as its own sentence with a period. Diane felt manipulated by her beagle, Santana. Okay, no problem. Great. All right, I have a subject and a verb, and it's a complete idea. Okay, so that's the idea. Okay, so going back to looking at the example, whose big brown eyes pleaded for another cookie. Okay, here's the construction: relative pronoun, subject, and a verb. All right, relative pronoun, subject, and a verb. This is the adjective clause. The whole thing functions as an adjective to describe a noun. What's it describing? Functions as an adjective. I'm sorry, to describe a noun. It's describing Santana, the dog, in this case. Okay. I just noticed also. I just noticed that someone outside the class is asking about the difference between who and him. Okay. Well, let's talk about that for a second. If it's basically, if you consider substituting he or she, okay, then the relative pronoun is who. So what is a relative? A pronoun always substitutes for something. Okay, so who substitutes for the subject pronoun? Who is for he or she or it. Maybe it. Okay.
They too. Who are they?
She is the one who stole my car. Okay, like that. Whom is a substitute for, is the relative pronoun for object pronouns. So him or her, or sometimes it, because it can be Can be an object pronoun. Okay, that's the difference. So when you're using it as a pronoun, okay, he. Oh, okay. So well, hopefully we'll see examples of that, but that's the basic idea. Who is for the subject noun and whom is for the object noun. If that answers your question, Brian, outside the class. Okay, again, let's look at examples of these adjective clauses, kind of analyze them and see if we can build them on them. Okay, here's another example. All right. Why Fred cannot stand sitting across from his sister Melanie. All right, here we have a slightly different construction. All right. Okay, let me quickly welcome David to the class. Hello, David. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi. Okay. Here we have a slightly, if we were going to analyze it, it's slightly different than the one we just looked at. Why is here is a relative adverb. Fred is the subject here. Can stand, or actually the negative, cannot stand. Oh, okay. 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 Not is an adverb. Okay, fine. It's attached. It's not officially part of the verb. Fine. But, all right, so whatever. This is our verb. Why Fred cannot stand sitting across from his sister. Okay. Why is this a relative adverb? We could see last time relative pronoun that who's related to Santana, our little dog, that we folded into a sentence. Why here we look at as a relative adverb. Why do we look at why as a relative adverb? What do adverbs do? They don't modify nouns, they modify other adverbs, adjectives, and primary function to modify verbs. I think you can maybe realize that this is probably going to modify a verb. Well, again, all right, let me jump down to look at another example. Okay, let's look at how this would look in a real sentence. Okay, chewing with her mouth open is one reason why Fred cannot stand sitting across from his sister Melanie. Well, there is our adjective clause, just as we saw it before. Why is referring to what? Heidi?
Yeah.
Okay. What is why referring to?
Reason.
Yeah. Okay. Why is the reason? Well, actually, no. Chewing is the reason why. Okay, chewing with her mouth open. Well, all right. With her mouth open is just a prepositional phrase. Actually, the reason why refers to chewing and the way she's chewing with her mouth open. Okay.
We can put it
why.
that. One reason that way.
Sorry? Go ahead.
I can put that instead of why.
Chewing with her mouth open is one reason that Fred cannot stand sitting across from his sister Melanie. Well, yeah. Okay.
But why is the reason? So the same. The reason that and the reason why the same.
Right. Okay. Yes. That is correct. If we look at, well, can you actually use that? Hang on. Well, that may cause a sentence. Okay. All right. Chewing with her mouth open is one reason that Fred cannot stand sitting across. Okay. Okay, I guess you can. Usually you use that for which. I'm not sure if you can use that for why in that sentence, technically speaking. Okay. Relative adverb. That Fred cannot. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna have to get back to you. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that, Heidi. I'm not. I know you can use that for which. I don't know if you can use that. It sounds natural, but I think in spoken English it is very common to use that construction. I'm actually confused by that myself. I don't know if technically, grammatically speaking, you can do that.
Can I say something here?
Yes, certainly.
I think in the first case when you use the why, it's an adverb modifying the verb. But when you use the that, it's as a what do you call it, relative pronoun, because it's modifying the it's modifying the no the that go to the that, and I think the that is modifying the reason, not the verb.
The noun.
Right, the noun
Right.
reason. So it's like an adjective. You know what I mean?
Yes, that is correct. Okay, there. I'm sorry, that really snarled up my thinking. I wasn't.
Right. So that's the only. I mean, it's the idea is the
Right.
same, but one is modifying different things. That's the only
Right. Okay, you're absolutely correct. Thank you for your help. That totally caught me off guard, and I didn't. That is actually totally correct. What he just said is absolutely correct. So if you substitute that, why, as I was saying, is an adverb. It's modifying the verb. If you substitute that, then you're using a pronoun to substitute for reason, which is the noun. So, as it turns out, the meaning is essentially the same, but what you're doing is slightly analyzing the grammar is slightly different. So what I said was actually, technically speaking, correct. You can't substitute that for why. However, in this particular instance, we can use that without really changing the meaning. It's just doing a different function. Okay, thank you, very good. Thank you very much. That was, yikes. Okay. All right. Absolutely correct. So it does something different. All right, let's take a look at another one here. Using that. All right. That bounced across the kitchen floor. That being a relative pronoun, it is functioning as the subject, as a subject noun. And we bounced, of course, is the verb. Across the kitchen floor, a simple prepositional phrase. Okay. All right. David, can you conceive of a sentence where this phrase could be used before we look at a pre-existing?
Sure. Let's see. The baby was looking at the ball, something like that, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, the baby was looking at the ball that bounced across the kitchen floor. Excellent. Okay, very good. Again, where he's adding an independent clause, a simple sentence. Okay, because we can't, this highlighted in yellow adjective clause, that can't exist by itself. That bounced across the kitchen floor. You need every sentence to be a true sentence needs an independent clause. or it just simply can't exist in English. Okay, David, what do I have to use that? Or can I use another pronoun, relative pronoun?
Okay, let's see. Which could be also which, right?
Yes, it could be. All right, very good. We can use that or which pretty much interchangeably. Okay, so there you go. Yes, that is correct. Okay. All right, let's look at another example. Okay. Who hiccuped for 7 hours afterwards? All right. Relative pronoun functioning as the subject. Again, who, and then the verb, hiccuped. All right. Very good. JK, can you conceive of a phrase that would precede this sentence, this clause? Can you think of a can you think of a phrase that could precede this?
Okay, but I don't know the meaning of hiccuped.
Okay. Let me demonstrate.
Yeah, okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Hiccups. You have those throat and diaphragm spasms repeatedly.
He ate very much last night. No. Oh, can't say he.
Well, you can't
I should
say
say a name. I should say a name. JK ate a lot last night. Who hiccuped for 7 hours afterward.
Okay. Okay, that doesn't quite work. Let's take a look at an example. Okay. Let's take a look at the example here. Okay. Laughter erupted from Anna Marie, who hiccuped for 7 hours afterwards. Okay.
From
all right.
From a marine.
A much simpler version. Okay. Anna Marie. We often see constructions like Anna Marie is the one, Anna Marie is the person, Anna Marie is the girl, or just simple is statements. Anna Marie is the girl who hiccuped for 7 hours. Without afterword here, but a simpler kind of construction. All right. So in any case, this is okay. This is acting as an adjective. The whole thing acts as an adjective to describe Anna Marie, right? Okay. All right. Okay. Let's. Does anybody have any questions? I know this is pretty complex material here. Does anybody have a question about what we're doing? Look at it again.
Do you think my sentence is wrong?
Yeah, it's not quite right.
Okay.
Okay, because we don't know. Okay, JK ate a lot last night.
Should I say I visited JK, who hiccuped for 7 hours afterward? Can I say that?
Yeah, that would work. That's funny. I like that. Okay, I visited JK, who hiccuped for 7 hours afterwards. Okay, that's pretty good. All right. And clearly who is referring to JK. Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. All right. I have already mentioned in order to avoid what's called a sentence fragment, you absolutely need to have an independent clause or a simple sentence as part of your construction of your sentence. Okay, an adjective clause does not express a complete thought because we don't really know who the relative pronoun or relative adverb refers to, who or what. So it cannot stand alone as a sentence. So you have to connect them to a main clause, which is what I've been trying to basically combine the two ideas at once here so you could see it. Notice, okay, notice the adjective clause follows the word that it describes. So, all right, Diane felt manipulated by her beagle Santana, whose big brown eyes pleaded for another cookie. Okay. Here's the one that David came up with. Snarling, and he gave a different, much simpler answer, but okay. Snarling and skidding on the smooth tile, Oreo and Skeeter, Madison's two dogs, competed for the hard-boiled egg that bounced across the kitchen floor. All right. Okay. Here, in this example, the pronoun is referencing egg. What bounced across the kitchen floor? The hard-boiled egg, obviously. Okay. All right, let's talk about punctuating the adjective clause correctly, because we have to do it a little differently. Well, depending on circumstances. And the circumstances are, is the adjective clause essential or non-essential? Okay. How do you figure that out? All right. Essential clauses do not require commas. They are essential to the idea, the main idea. You need the information it provides in order to make sense of the sentence. In other words, with an easier way to look at it, or more reverse engineering way to look at it, I suppose, if you can remove the adjective clause and the sentence still makes perfect sense, then the adjective clause is non-essential. If you remove the adjective clause and the sentence no longer makes any sense at all, then it is essential. Okay. For example, let's look at an example here. Okay. The vegetables that people leave uneaten are often the most nutritious. Okay, Rasha.
Yes.
All right. First of all, let's analyze a little bit. Where is the adjective clause? What is the adjective clause?
That.
That. Yeah. Continue. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So
that.
the vegetables. Yeah. That.
Okay. A clause is more than one word. That is a word. So when I ask for a clause or a phrase, in English, when I say phrase, or a phrase is a simple group of words, a clause is basically a big chunk of a sentence. All right, so what is the clause?
That people live uneaten.
Great. Super. Very good. All right. Do you think if I remove this highlighted yellow part, do I still have a sentence?
Yes.
Okay, but does it make sense?
Yeah.
The vegetables are often the most nutritious. Okay, does that make sense? Really? As a complete idea, the vegetables are often the most nutritious. Which vegetables? Where? Okay.
Yes, it's not complete.
Yeah, it seems weird. I don't know what you're talking about if you said this.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. Vegetables is non-specific. There's which vegetables? I don't know. Types of vegetables, the vegetables that are grown in France. What are you talking about? Right? That's the problem. To know which ones we are talking about, to define them, we need an adjective, or in this case, an adjective clause. We must have the information in the adjective clause. Thus, the adjective clause is essential and requires no commas. Let me pick on someone else. Heidi, is there another way to say this same sentence? Is there another way to say this same sentence in a different way so as to define the vegetables, but without a relative clause?
Oh,
Yep.
most nutritious vegetables are often people need. No, it's not. Another way, completely another way.
Yeah, completely another way. Well, the idea that I'm trying to get across, the adjective clause basically forms the function of an adjective. You could actually simplify this sentence and make it clear just by adding one adjective here in front of the vegetables. What adjective?
Not close. The most nutritious.
No, we already have the most nutritious here.
Okay.
We've got to define the vegetables. That's the problem. The vegetables are non-specific. We don't know which ones we're talking about. We have the, the article, the specific article, but
I need them.
There we go. Dun, 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 dun. Very good. That's it. Exactly. Actually, these two sentences pretty much say the same thing. The uneaten vegetables are often the most nutritious. By using an adjective, we've defined the vegetables enough so that the sentence makes sense. Right. Okay. So that's kind of the idea I wanted to get across. We're actually using the clause is actually used as an adjective. In many cases, we could actually create a simpler sentence by just using an adjective. Not always, okay? Not always. But here's a case where we pretty easily could. Let me welcome Frank to the class real quick. Hi, Frank.
Hello. Okay.
Hello.
Long time no see.
Yeah. Hi. How are you?
I'm doing well, and I just read.
You just what? Really?
Yes. Exactly.
Exactly. I just don't understand what I just said. You just what? Relived?
Yes. Read.
Okay, I'm confused. All right.
Go ahead.
Okay, I will. All right, I'm just going to go ahead. All right, back to the lesson. All right, because we need this adjective clause to define the vegetables, it's essential. We don't need commas. If, however, we eliminate vegetables and choose a more specific noun instead, the adjective clause can become non-essential, and does require commas to separate it. For example, if we revise this, broccoli, pretty specific, which people often leave uneaten, is very nutritious. Okay, do you see how that works? We're using the same exact adjective clause here, but we don't. Broccoli's pretty specific, and if we get rid of it again, as I was saying before, if we totally get rid of that broccoli is very nutritious, the sentence is still a sentence. It's still an independent clause. It still makes perfect sense. Yes, it is. Broccoli is nutritious. Sure, no problem. So basically, you know, you can look at this different ways. When you have non-essential clauses, you bracket them, surround them with commas, and just get rid of them. In fact, just relate it for when I teach reading comprehension. One technique I teach in reading comprehension is to basically, wherever you see this, a bracketed phrase surrounded by commas, which begins with a relative pronoun, get rid of it. Get rid of, eliminate any prepositional phrases. Those are phrases that start with a preposition and include a noun. Get rid of them. And you can do that because these are add-on material. These are add-ons. This is a way to simplify sentences to increase your reading comprehension, so you can see the simple basic idea without all the extras. Okay. Anyway, okay, let's see. Let's now, what we need to do is we need to try making our own sentences. Let's see if we can make our own sentences, remembering, all right, again, I remind you, okay, you can use a relative pronoun here. Let's try that. Okay. All right. Let's try creating our own sentences, our own examples. All right. Let's see. Just as a reminder, here are the relative pronouns you can use. Let's see if we can do this, and then we can talk about it. David, go ahead.
Yes.
Try
Yes.
to create a sentence with an adjective clause. Take your pick.
Okay.
Start with relative pronouns here.
Okay.
Here.
Okay, here we go. The woman who was sitting by the door went bananas.
Whoops. Okay. Okay. Wait a minute. What's missing here?
Commas.
Oh, are you still speaking?
Oh, yes. So the woman who was sitting by the door. Yeah.
Ah, I didn't hear the who. That was my problem. Okay. Okay. The woman who was sitting by the door went bananas. Okay. Your adjective clause is what?
It's essential.
Is it? Okay. Your clause is here, right? Who's sitting by the door?
Right.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Is it essential?
It's not.
Yes, it's essential.
You think so?
Of course, because if I say the woman went banana, which woman?
Okay.
So only the woman who was sitting next by the door. That's the one who went banana.
Interesting. Interesting. JK, do you think this is essential or non-essential? This is very interesting, actually. It could be argued either way. In fact, it really could. No, it depends on what. If you had this in a paragraph with other information,
Right, it'll be different. Yeah.
Yes. So, okay, this raises an important point. If you're explaining a situation that happened while you were sitting in a restaurant, for example, and you give a lot of other background information and you talk about the people who were there as part of your setting, then this may be non-essential.
Right.
Or it could be It could be essential.
Right.
It kind of depends. So that's a little tricky. Okay. But anyway, the sentence construction is correct. This is how you do it. It is very common to put, excuse me, to put non-essential information in the middle of the sentence between the subject, noun, and the verb. This is very common. Non-essential or essential. It's very common to put an adjective clause between the subject and the verb, I should say, to be clearer. Okay, Frank, you want to try to create an adjective clause or relative clause in a sentence using one of these relative pronouns here?
The man
Okay.
whose name is Oakley
Okay.
got bent out of shape in the class.
Got what again?
Bent out of shape.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay, and Frank, very good. Your relative clause or your adjective clause is what?
Whose name is Oakley.
Most certainly it is. Okay. Notice his use of the relative pronoun whose, which shows possession. Okay, that's used for possessives. Okay. All right. Very good. And is this essential information or non-essential? Okay. If it's essential, oh, okay. I'm sorry. David thought this was essential information. If it's essential, it does not need commas. Frank, do you think this is essential information, or can we get rid of it?
It's essential.
You think it's essential? Okay, so we don't need commas. All right. And, okay, I have no other problems with that. All right. Yes, defining the man as a person's name, this kind of a phrase, I would also agree that that's essential information. Otherwise, why are you providing the name? You're providing the name because you want the listener or reader to understand who did it. Yeah, I would. This type of a sentence, which is a common occurrence in English, I would say I would agree. This is essential information. Okay, JK, you want to try reading a sentence with an adjective clause? Okay.
Okay. The Ferrari that you were driving is very expensive.
How do you spell Ferrari? Okay. Okay, good one.
We're driving.
Okay.
The clause is that you were driving.
Indeed it is. Very good.
And it's not essential. So we can say the Ferrari is very expensive.
I think you can, yeah. All right. I agree with you on that one. I think it's enough information. The Ferrari, I think most of us can understand that Ferraris are expensive. And it doesn't have to be a specific Ferrari that you were driving. Pretty much all Ferraris are expensive. I agree with you. Good analysis. Okay, great. Good. Rasha, your turn.
Yes.
Okay, again, remember...
okay. The boiled egg that you eat it is healthy.
The boiled egg that
you eat it is healthy.
Well, we can't say eat it. It's in a...
Eat. Not eat it. No.
No.
A-T-E.
Ate. Ate.
Yeah. Ate.
Okay, sounds
A.
exactly like the in pronunciation, Rasha, sounds exactly like the number 8.
Okay.
Okay. The boiled egg that you ate, okay.
Is healthy.
Okay. The boiled egg that you ate is healthy. Okay, you ate is past tense. Should this be is healthy or was healthy?
Oh,
Would it
sorry. Was healthy.
probably better
Yeah.
to match tenses here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and what is your adjective clause?
That you ate. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Okay. Is it
essential.
Is it? The boiled egg was
No,
healthy.
it's not essential. Because we can't say the boiled egg was healthy. We can't say that.
Yeah, I think so. You're basically saying that boiled eggs are healthy. Although I
Yes.
don't know if I agree with you, Rasha. About boiled eggs, I can agree with your sentence construction. Okay, very good. Okay, all right. The eaten boiled egg was healthy. Mm-hmm. Okay, good job. Okay, Heidi. One more time.
It's very long. So time consumer. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay. We still got four
The
minutes.
students who had gotten medals in the international sport event
Okay, sorry, but slow down a little. I'm not that fast.
got medals.
Medals. Okay.
In some international sport event, can be accepted. In universities, in some universities, without taking exams.
Okay. Got it. In some universities, without?
Accepted. Can be accepted. Accepted.
Mm-hmm. Oh, accepted. Not the opposite meaning. Sorry, my brain wasn't actually my brain didn't know what my fingers were doing. Sorry.
In some universities without taking exams.
Yeah, okay. Got it. All right. Okay.
The sport events.
The student.
Sport events.
It has to be event. Yes, because we have some.
I said, and even
Okay.
student.
Okay. Sorry. I'm not taking dictation well. My apologies. Sorry. I'll go clean my ears on the break.
It's my sentence, and not his sentence.
Okay. He has a point. You need sports events because of some. I don't. If I missed it,
I said event.
All right. Fine. Who cares? All right. The students with an S.
Yeah. Student.
Okay.
Who have.
Yeah. Right. Who have gotten medals in some international sports events. The students. Okay. So, all right. Your adjective clause here is here, right? It's a big one. Who have gotten medals in some international sports events. I guess I don't really need a capital on international.
Mm.
All right.
Events.
Events with an S. Yeah, we got that. Can be accepted in some universities without taking exams. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. I don't see any more problems with this. All right, Heidi. Is that a essential clause?
Yes.
Definitely. Yeah. It would not make sense without that information. The students can be accepted in some universities. That would make no sense at all. So yes, it's extremely essential. Here, it's obviously essential. It would not make sense without it. So no need for commas. Clearly, right?
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. That's very good. Okay. All right. So, all right, we got to form some good sentences here. Great. Glad we all had enough time to do that, but we are out of time now. So thank you very much, and see you next time here on Verbal.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
teacher.
Bye.